Porsha, I took up for you last week. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. We acting like Drew Sidora now? We Helen Keller? We don't see or hear shit? Really? All right, I guess it's time to drag this time.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. I look cross-eyed. Sorry. All right, Real Housewives of Season 16, darlings. This is episode 9. All right, so we're back from Nashville. We open with Cynthia catching up with the ladies in this, 3-scene montage thing. They're basically telling her what happened. They're telling her that Drew came to the trip and Porsha made that comment about Charles. So last week, I laughed about it. I still think what Porsha said was fucking hilarious. I thought it was funny. Angela kept poking her. And when you poke the bear long enough, it's either going to growl at you or swat at your ass. In this case, Porsha growled. Porsha obviously should not have said that, but she said it. And the fact that she's trying to act like she didn't say it or I don't remember is absolutely ridiculous. And it's why you're in the boat that you're in now. But anyway, so the ladies rehash what happened. Very funny. You could tell Cynthia wanted to be there. Cynthia's talking about her Bailey cue that she's going to have, which is like the big coup de grace at the end of the episode. So after that, we go to Brit and Kelly. Brit. Kelly's having a dog birthday. Real quick, not to talk shit about people with dogs, because I'm a cat lover. I love all animals, but I prefer cats. People that spend thousands of dollars on their dog parties and shit, I will never fully understand. I'm not judging it. I just don't understand it. She said her dog was in the hair salon for 9 hours. That sounds like torture. But anyway, I guess Cha-Cha looked good. I don't know. All right. So anyway, I'm going to jump all over the place. I can't remember the order. We briefly stop with Porsha and her sister and mom to talk about what happened. Porsha is funny. The way she will relate a story and conveniently leave out her fuck shit is hilarious to me. Girl, come on. Come on, Porsha. They briefly talk about the divorce a little bit. So I think what a lot of the fans are failing to realize, Porsha has a gag on her. She's not supposed to talk about certain things that has to do with her divorce, which is why we don't get to know a whole lot of it on the show. So I have to remind myself of that. It's super annoying, but it is what it is. Really cute in this scene. They bought PJ a dog, and she named the dog Peanut Butter. Really cute. Really, really cute. Okay, so we get to Shamea, and Shamea goes to Shadina. She goes to Shadina's office. Shadina's her former surrogate. We meet Shamea's and her husband's new surrogate, Asia, cute lady. They're bold to be doing that again. I would be so scared and deterred from trying that again. So kudos to her and her husband for doing the whole surrogate journey again, to have, to make their family bigger. I think it's important to show that too, on TV, because a lot of people are interested in that. And yeah, moving right along. Angela and Charles working out. I wish they were making out. It seems like she wants to make out, but okay, with her husband. All right. Okay, so last week I said Angela was doing too much, and I stand by that. The reason I said that is Angela is clearly the MVP of this season. That is not up for debate. That's obvious. But I think she's finally getting her sea legs when it comes to how reality television works. Because last week, she appeared to be upset that the girls were coming at her over inviting Drew, and then her trying to hold Porsha accountable for the whole Simon thing, which was weird timing to me, to be honest. It seemed more like a deflection than an actual I want to hold you accountable. But hence me saying she was doing too much is there's heat that comes with being the bone collector, Angela. There's heat with it. It's been on every show. So when she was acting very brand new, I was like, well, then don't do so much. That was my logic behind saying she was doing too much. Don't stop doing too much because there wouldn't be a show, but know what comes with it. There's consequences for everything, good or bad. There's consequences. And you was doing a lot that merited some consequences. It is what it is. But anyway, so she's telling Charles about the Nashville trip and gets to how the ladies were coming to her about Drew and how she shouldn't have invited her. That was hilarious when Charles was like, well, you shouldn't have. Thank you. And to all the people in the comments, it's a production trip. We're aware. We know that. I'm watching a show. Of course I know it's fucking production. But the reality is the emotions and reactions are real. So it is what it is. You don't have to go on a production trip. You ain't gonna get paid, but you don't have to go. But don't play dumb either. That's all I'm saying. So Charles is like, well, Charles seems like he's a contrarian when it comes to Angela. That was funny when she was like, if I just want to go to get the opposite of what I'm asking, I just go to Charles. I thought that was kind of funny pertaining to drama. She mentions that Porsha talks about sleeping with him, which he laughed off and said she could. Charles reiterates that he would not sleep with Porsha. Sorry, it's shaking. Okay. Portia's hot. She's a beautiful lady. I don't think she's going to have a shortage of men anytime soon. I'm going to get to Porsha in a minute because Porsha made a comment about I wouldn't sleep with somebody's husband. Okay, Porsha. Why do you think you're in the situation you're in now? But okay, girl. So one thing I will say about Angela and Charles, I wish Angela seems nervous and timid when she's talking to her husband. It just seems like she's scared of what his reaction, or not even reaction, answer is going to be to things. Because it seems like he doesn't, the vibe that I'm getting is he doesn't seem like he's ever really in her corner. It's kind of the vibe that I get. But Angela is a bit of a meddler. She's proven it. My friend Tatiana pointed this out. She's done it with the ladies, and it seems like she does it within her family too. I don't know. I just feel like her and Charles have a very Al Bundy, Peg Bundy dynamic. And as we all know, if you watch Married to Children, they started off in love and that shit fell apart towards the end. I don't know. It's just the perception that I get. I hope I'm wrong because I don't want anybody to have a bad relationship. So we get to Brit and her family. Her mom is her mother is selling the house that they all lived in with her dad. I guess her mother doesn't want to live there because the father's passed on. I can understand that. And they're helping her pack up and move. She's got her two sisters there. I think her two sisters and her mom, or maybe it's her one sister and her mom. Her sister Cher, who she was with in the previous episodes. But here's what I took away from this scene. So the father was clearly the glue of the family, but it seems like there's a lot of tension between the women, especially the sisters and the mom. The mom's attitude on camera is not very becoming. She doesn't seem warm and inviting, but she also seems uncomfortable, so I'll give her that. My takeaway from that scene was when Brit FaceTimes the oldest sister who was not there, who looked like she was at the grocery store or something. It was apparent she didn't want to be there. So they're all talking about how much they love her and what they're doing with the house, and they talk about how, I agree with Brit. I think it kind of sucks that the mom is selling the house. You know, I get it. I was bummed when my parents sold their house and property. I was like, that would have been awesome to pass it down to us, but we don't live in California anymore. And this ain't about me. So they're talking to her sister on FaceTime, reminiscing, and then the younger sister, Cher, jumps in the conversation. So Cher jumps in the conversation on the FaceTime with the older sister, and sorry, it's shaking, starts bawling to the sister. I miss you. I love you. I feel like they got some serious issues, and I don't think a camera should be there. The way her sister was crying in them tears, like real tears, not no fucking inner cry like New York, like real tears. was a lot. I think Brit tries to paint everything in a pretty bow in her life, and we obviously know that's not the case. It seems like there's a lot going on. There was a lot to unpack in that scene, which, I mean, to me, further attributes to the way Brit is now. You know what I mean? Just off the tiny little dynamic that I saw. Sounds like the dad was really the one holding all of this shit together, from the finances to the relationships with each other. I don't know. I hope that gets better. Still don't like you, Brit. You get on my nerves. I hope I don't see you next season. But that family dynamic seems very skewed and off, and I hope that shit works out. Because when your family's fucked up and you ain't getting along and shit is fucked up, life's fucked up. That's a lot of F-bombs. Okay, so Porsha and Dennis hire an au pair, and they have her come over to the house. They greet her with cakes and flowers and candy and all that shit. The au pair, a cute little South African girl. She's going to be bouncing between Dennis and Porsha's house to watch PJ. Okay. This scene with Porsha and Dennis, so they're doing a confessional together. Them two are still smashing. That is apparent. They need to quit playing around and get on back together. I watched her YouTube channel. Their chemistry is insane. Y'all figure it the fuck out, please. And keep us out of it. And Drew. They briefly go over the whole Drew thing and him filming with her. It's very obvious to me. Maybe somebody, you know what do y'all think in the comments? It's very obvious to me that someone from production told Porsha that Drew and Dennis were filming. You could tell Porsha was mad. It seems like she's saying verbally that she's mad. She's more mad at Dennis, but it's given she's more mad at Drew. I think that she has every right to be mad at Drew. Drew wouldn't like it if somebody filmed with Ralph. But I think Porsha is very calculated this season with how she's, I guess, presenting her emotions somewhat. She seems more edited than usual. I got to give her props for that because we know how she can be. But all that being said, I think you need to be 1,000% 100 with the Drew and Dennis thing. You've said it, we receive it, but I think the reason long story short, I just feel like Porsha isn't being, I feel like she's doing the best. You know what? Let me stop. She's doing the best that she can with the situation that she's been dealt. The shit with Simon, but the shit the shit with Drew and Dennis, I think she's holding back. I don't want her to hold back, but I understand why she is. Yeah. Drew Sonora. Isn't that what what's her face called her? Okay, so let's get to this Bailey Q. We get to the Bailey Q. I love Cynthia's fucking lake house. That shit's goals for me. That's a goal for me. Thank you, Cynthia, for helping me with my goal. Helping me visualize my goal. So, anyway, there's a lot of people at the Bailey Q. Her theme for the Bailey Q this time around is Juneteenth, which I love. I feel like a lot of Black Americans really don't understand or know the history behind Juneteenth. So I love that she made that the theme and she actually had questions and educated some motherfuckers on it. So that was great. The ladies get there. Cynthia invited a prophet who was clearly like a medium or a psychic. I didn't understand why she was calling herself a prophet. I know that that's pretty much what they are as well, but okay. And I didn't buy her as a prophet or a psychic or a medium or anything anyway. It seemed like she went on Google and read a bunch of shit about everybody and then surmised from all that and came up with this shit. Brit was the first to arrive. She tells Brit something about how she needs to choose herself and some shit. It seems like Brit's been choosing herself, but okay. We only got to see, 30 seconds of that conversation. There's probably a lot more to it. Shamea gets there, Kelly gets there, Porsha eventually gets there, Drew arrives late. So as the ladies are getting there, the prophet is like talking to them about different stuff, which is all hitting the nail on the head, which lets me know her ass went on Google. I do believe in psychics and all that shit, but this lady, I was like, okay. And it was funny when Cynthia was saying the prophet, I was like, Prophet Lot, is he coming back? So at one point, Angela gets there too. I forgot to mention her. Angela looked cute in her yellow. Actually, I thought Angela and Porsha looked great. I'm a bright color person. I love the bright colors. They all look great, but yeah. So at one point, Cynthia says to Angela and Porsha, can I grab you guys and take you into I forget what the room she used, so they could talk privately about what happened. They get in there, they talk about what happened. Angela tells her, I heard what you were saying. Why did you say that about me? Porsha walked all around the mulberry bush, giving every excuse, all around the mulberry bush. That's an old ass reference. Woo, I'm Asian myself with that. But yeah, like, you're all over the place, and then you finally she doesn't really apologize. She does the if I bullshit. Okay, fine. And then she says, well, Cynthia comes back in to check on them, and she's like, well, she didn't apologize to me. And Angela's like, I'm sorry if I upset you, So I think they were on the same page. I mean, Angela knew that she had done too much with the inviting Drew. She knew that. But she did explain her intentions, and I believe her intentions. I believe that she really wanted them to, like, talk and chat. But Angela, you knew deep down that shit wasn't going to work. Good intentions are always great until they aren't, right? But whatever. So they seem to have, like, cleared that up. Forgot to mention this at the top of the episode. So after the Nashville trip, Angela apparently wrote a group text and I think she wrote a text to Shamea expressing her disdain for Shamea kind of not sticking up for her with the whole Porsha and comment about Charles. So they go into the room and talk about that, have a meeting of the minds. My thing with Angela, though, is how can you get mad at Shamea and saying to Shamea, you need to uphold your friend for what she said or whatever, when you kind of did the same thing with Porsha previously with Drew. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I mean by doing too much. Girl, you are the bone collector. The bone collector takes a brunt of the shit that they collect and bring back. And you went above and beyond by doing some other stuff. So it's weird that you would get mad at Shamea about that when it's not, y'all are grown women. It's not Shamea's place to tell Porsha if she's wrong. Should she have? Probably. But I don't know. I'm glad they were able to clear that up. But let's get to the good shit. I done talked enough. Okay, so we get back to the ladies in the main room for the Bailey Q. Cynthia is doing flashcards with trivia questions about Juneteenth. Most of them didn't get it. It was kind of funny, but it was a good educational moment. It was fun and educational and important. So we get back to being messy. The girls are all chatting back and forth. Angela and Brit get into it. I'm badly paraphrasing because I can't remember how it got started. But basically, Brit made a comment about Angela needing to shut her mouth or some shit about whatever. And then Angela chimes back about miles on Brit's mouth, which was fucking hilarious. And then Brit's like, well, if you did more in the bedroom or some shit. And then Angela's like, well, at least I don't have stretch marks around my mouth. That was great. So they're kind of going at it. And the episode kind of subsides there. You can tell there's going to be more next week. And then we go into the mid-season trailer, which was very fucking eye-opening. This was another good episode. Angela, you're the MVP of this season. You're doing your thing. I think you're slowly getting your sea legs, because I think you're doing shit and realizing that motherfuckers are gonna come back at you if you say some crazy shit to them or about them or invite somebody they don't like on a trip. But Angela's the MVP. She's doing her thing. I just don't want Angela to be on an island all by herself. Her weird loyalty to Drew, I don't understand. And look at how you were loyal to Brit at first, and now Brit is coming at you hook, line, and sinker. Brit, you shouldn't be talking about anything sexual to anybody. You the last person to be talking about that. Anyway, I've talked a lot. It's Monday. It's a new week. Let's get this shmoney. Have a good week, you guys.